Legend has it that the modern form of the latte, where a significant amount of steamed milk is added to espresso, was invented by an Italian barista in California. Now, that legend has been disputed quite a bit. Regardless, the latte began really catching steam. Get it? Catching steam in the late 80s in Seattle, Washington, which is obviously where Starbucks began. Now, I'm an absolute coffee addict. Usually I'll have 3 cups of black coffee a day. But if I go out and I'm feeling a little fancy and I get coffee, latte would be my coffee of choice. Obviously, a few years ago, we saw the Jordan 1 mochas, Travis Scott mochas, both wildly popular shoes. And now Jordan Brand is following up and taking inspiration from the latte. Air Jordan 1 Latte. The shoe is dropping on May 29th for $180 in the United States. It is a woman's exclusive, obviously taking inspiration, kind of a follow-up to the Jordan 1 mochas, and first impressions of the shoe. It's not my favorite. I think the mochas are better. I just like that type of brown better, but I think it's still a very nice colorway. It's very clean. Very hard to mess up a Jordan 1 like this with just one kind of outstanding color in the brown over here. But it's not like super loud, super bold. I think it's still subtle and subdued enough where I really like this colorway, but I do have a huge gripe with it. It is the pea stain all over the sole. And I get it, the Travis mochas also had the sale, but I just feel like it's kind of played out at this point. It is just forced on too many different shoes. I'll have more to say on that later, but yeah, that's the biggest weakness or flaw that I can see for the shoe. Now, the Jordan 1s obviously first came out in 1985 for a price of $65. Super expensive back then. It was one of the most expensive sneakers ever. But Jordan Brand has always marketed themselves and kind of positioned themselves in the market as a very high-end and expensive sneaker. So we complain a lot about how outrageous the price of Jordan shoes are, which they are, very expensive, but it's always been that way. And the materials on the shoe, the white and black parts, it is leather. And the leather on the toe box, it is super soft. It's not like the thickest leather, but just like to the hand, to the touch, feels nice. The black parts as well. One thing I don't really love is you can really see that polyurethane coating on the white parts of the shoe. It gives that kind of shiny or like sheen to the shoe. I don't really love that. I know that's pretty standard for a lot of leather-based Jordan shoes. I kind of like a more subdued look. And then on the latte parts, so this heel counter as well as parts of this ankle collar, it is actually nubuck. And you can actually see in different parts, like the grain and the wrinkles of the leather come through. Remember, nubuck is just a form of leather. So overall, it's pretty decent materials on the shoe. Nothing like super premium, but for Jordan 1s in 2024, it's pretty decent. And of course, like other Jordan 1s, the Wings logo debossed into the ankle collar of the shoe. And the Jordan 1, of course, comes with a nylon tongue with a Nike Air branded tag on the top. And this tongue is white. And sticking to this area, the shoe does come with one extra set of laces and this kind of off-white sail color. Out of the two, I still prefer the black laces. I think that just looks better. I think the other set of laces just too close to the white on the upper of the shoe. So I think this black just gives it a bit more balanced color blocking. And the Jordan 1s does come with a rubber cup sole with a Nike Air unit on the heel. Very old technology. And unfortunately, this one does come with sail on the sole. And yes, again, I understand it was on the Mocha Travis 1s, but in the vacuum, I just don't think that sail fits that well on a white shoe like this, especially with that polyurethane coating over it. That white looks very, very white, and then you put sail on this. I just don't know why you need like pre-aged lattes. I don't know why they did this. Someone at Jordan Brand must be like invested in sail, like as a stock, as a color, and every time they put sail on a pair of Jordan 1s or Jordan shoes for that matter, they get a little kickback because there's too much sail on too many different Jordan 1s now. It just doesn't really make sense. And of course, you get the rubber outsole of a Jordan 1, this concentric circle pattern that originated on the Air Force 1s back in 1982. So a complete latte colored outsole. I think that looks pretty nice. Now this Jordan 1 does come with specially branded insoles. So you see this latte swirly pattern with the 23 on the insole as well in a darker brown. Unfortunately, the materials of the insole itself isn't the best. It's not Dreamcell, it's definitely not polyurethane insoles. It's the other cheaper type. And if you're wondering what the difference between these and like the insoles you find in the Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined that we got earlier this year, that came with polyurethane insoles. The more you wear those, the more kind of molds around your feet, and it just provides like a softer, more cushioned feel. This one just feels very flat for a shoe that's already very flat to the ground, which actually Michael Jordan wanted, but that was for basketball purposes. Most people aren't playing in Jordan 1s now, they're walking in them, so more comfortable insoles would really benefit us. Now this shoe actually takes the storytelling one extra step further, so it comes with a coaster, a Jumpman coaster. This is like thick cardboard, so it's nothing like super premium in terms of the materials, but at least it's not just like a piece of flimsy paper. And then on the other side, you have the word CU Latte, ... Get it? The shoe does come with a specially branded Jordan 1 box. And again, the storytelling on the shoe is kind of elevated a little bit. So you see these swirly patterns all around. And the same type of pattern on the paper inside the box. And in terms of sizing and comfort for Jordan 1s, as a wide and flat footer, I go true to size. I think that fits pretty well, regardless of whether or not you have wide feet. I do recommend just sticking true to size for Jordan 1s. The padding around the ankles are very nice, more padded than the low version of the Jordan 1. And that's my favorite part in terms of comfort for the Jordan 1 highs. In terms of overall comfort though, like I said, very ancient technology, a rubber cup sole, which if you didn't know is less responsive than like a polyurethane midsole or like Cushlon that is more modern. It's just still a very flat feeling shoe. It's not bad enough where you like don't want to wear the shoe, but if comfort is the first priority when it comes to your sneaker choice, Jordan 1s probably isn't it. If I had to compare it to the comfort of like another shoe from this era, probably like the Nike Dunks that has a very similar setup without the Nike Air, unless you're talking about SB Dunks that has Zoom Air, but the Nike Dunks has a rubber cup sole, no Nike Air, kind of feels similar to this. The Jordan 1 highs are a bit more comfortable, but along the same lines. And that brings the total sole score of the Jordan 1 High Latte to 28 out of 40. Pretty average score compared to other general releases. Now first, it is colorway. I think this is a very nice colorway. It is quite subdued. The latte brown is pretty earthy, which I like. This kind of color blocking is really nice as well. A majority white-based sneaker can't really make this type of shoe look ugly. It's just a standard but very clean look. In terms of the brown, this latte brown, I don't love it as much as like a very dark brown. It's better than like Palomino brown, which I think just reminds me of like diarrhea. But this type of brown, even though it's not my favorite, it's not bad. The sail is just absolutely unnecessary, but apart from that, I think it's a pretty clean colorway. In terms of the materials, it's decent. It's got that coating over, which I don't love, but it does feel very soft in the toe box area. Kind of thin feeling, but just the touch, very soft. In terms of the nubuck on the heel counter, it's decent nubuck, nothing like super premium, but it's not like cheap feeling like the nubuck you feel on the Spizike Houston Oilers. That just had like really weird, bad, crappy nubuck. In terms of the comfort, it's average. Nothing that'll like hurt your feet or make you hate yourself for wearing a Jordan 1, but it's definitely not the best. A very flat feeling shoe, slightly stiff. If you're walking around here and there, no problems at all, but if you're going for like actual exercise or going for a long walk, I wouldn't recommend a Jordan 1. In terms of the versatility, this is where this kind of shoe really shines. The Jordan 1 silhouette, of course, it's very classic, it's very iconic, and in terms of the wearability of the colors, very, very standard colors. The latte brown's kind of different, but it's still earthy and standard enough where it's very easy to wear. Overall, very clean shoe, very simple. Objectively, it's not like my favorite colorway ever, but I still think it's a very wearable shoe. Comparing the shoe to the Mochas, hard not to make that comparison. I think undoubtedly that is a better shoe. I think the brown just looks much better. That's just such a nice colorway. I still need that in my rotation. But with all that said, just in a vacuum, making no comparisons, this is a pretty clean colorway. Very nice to wear, very easy to wear. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 1 Latte. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.